looking at those characters right now. Let's see. The issue with him, I could probably just like do a tier placing right here, right? The main issue with what he's trying to do is he's not played like any other projectile character in the game. Not optimally. Because what's optimal on him right now is the Photocard. The base kit was hit so hard by like 7 nerfs from the PTB. He got nerfed from the PTB. Like, I think the entire list of nerfs that he didn't have yesterday is like, what, 7? So like, he's completely changed, okay? The thing about him, ladies and gentlemen, this actually applied to yesterday, the last time we played him too. Okay? The comparisons with him are easier, better, Huntress. Whatever the fuck that means. A bullshit. He doesn't play like Huntress at all. Okay, the reason he doesn't play like Huntress at all, or Deathslinger, okay? Let's talk about Huntress and Deathslinger for a second, okay? Especially Shitslinger. Huntress after a second, because she's got to wind up first, okay? She's got to wind up. But after Huntress and Shitslinger especially, after he winds up and aims down sights, he can zone you. They have zoning, okay? Understanding that is important, because you have to understand why he doesn't have zoning, okay? This fucker does not have zoning, because you can get hit 6 times. Yeah, you can get hit 6 times before you take damage, okay? Which means the survivor is still gonna go take that window that they want to take. Whereas they wouldn't take that window against Huntress or Shitslinger. And by the time you have the 5 knives and they're at red, they've probably chased you enough to where their health state doesn't particularly matter, okay? So he doesn't zone. That's why he doesn't play like them at all. There's no comparison. Everything about the characters is fundamentally different, because they can zone and he can't, okay? Does that make sense? Does everyone understand this so far? They can zone, he can't. There's no comparison there. They hit you 1 time, he has to hit you 6 times. Okay? That's why there's no comparison between him and Huntress, because Huntress zones, he doesn't. So, you have to move on and go, okay, well, what does he do? Okay? Well, his stream of projectiles, like I said before, it kind of like reminds me of Plague. Because like, but like, even then, that still doesn't really work, because Plague's meter goes up and his meter goes down after 10 seconds. So that doesn't work. That's not right. There's no comparison there either. So the conclusion there is that he can't be compared to anybody. Okay? And he can't be compared to anybody. Okay? And so like, now you have to analyze him. Don't compare him to anybody else yet. Analyze him. You don't care about knife syllables? Yes, exactly. Okay, so like, you have to just analyze him. And how does he stack up compared to a basic 115 killer? Okay? Basically, when any killer is going after you, there should be a reason to use their power. Okay? There should be a reason to use it. Because it's time. It's all about that time issue we were talking about before. How is this power going to save me time versus basically just basic attacking them? Okay? Every killer in the game has an answer to that question. Okay? Think about this. Every other killer has an answer to that question. Trapper. Oh, I'm going to cut off your loop. I have to go set up some board. I have to go set up a board, but it's dedicated to cutting your loops off. It's dedicated to blocking a hex totem off. It's dedicated to doing things that save me time. Is Trapper good? No. But that's why you play his power. If you're not playing his power, you're not playing him right. It's not optimal to go and just be 115 killer when you're playing Trapper, even though his power is terrible. It's still optimal to use it. Now again, we could go on, but every character in the game has an answer to that question. Okay? Every single one. Except, of course, Bitch Boy here. Bitch Boy doesn't have an answer to that question, because when you're throwing when the survivor's far away from you, you're not going to be able to chain more than like maximum 2 knives together. And if they're at like a safe spot and you're like like a house on Haddonfield and you're shooting knives up at them, you still have to go into the building or it's like when they go into the building to not get hit by you anymore, you have to go into that building. So like those 2 knives, you just chucked them, wasted your time. Whereas if you were Huntress or Deathslinger, you would have taken a health stake if you got hit. So like you get more respect when you're Huntress and Deathslinger. Beside the point though. And then, okay, when you're behind them, okay, so that's so far away's out, because he can't zone, as we discussed before. So far away's out, okay, so you're directly behind them now, okay? So you are directly behind them within basic attack range, okay? And you pull out your knives, and you chuck them at them. You chuck them at them, the survivor's juking you, you're missing about probably 30% of your knives before you get the 6 hits, okay? Does that save you time by just basic attacking them? No. Probably be roughly around the same amount of time, if not worse, okay? So why'd you do it? Why did you just not basic attack? And they still get the speed boost, so that's not it. You don't save the speed boost, they still get that. So why'd you do it? You got the hit later than you would have if you just basic attack them, and they still get the speed boost, so they're still at the next tile. Their transition was better because you used your power. That's shit. That's shit. It's horrible. It's horrendous design. So the conclusion is that you want to basic attack them first, and then maybe use the power when you're at the tile to get the down. But like, if you're at the tile with high verticality, you can't use your power anyway. Okay? Because it's too high and you can't see over it. So the power is completely out there, so if you basic attack them and then they get to a tile that's too high, you have to basic attack them again or just drop chase. This is his problem. Now why am I going into all this? Why am I telling you all this? Okay? Because he has an add-on that corrects literally all of this. And it's the Photocard. I'm going to tier him with the Photocard. And we're going to talk about the Photocard. And again, you guys have already seen some of this before. The Photocard corrects all these issues. The Photocard answers the question, why am I using the power? The Photocard helps him, like, it doesn't help him zone, but he doesn't need to. The Photocard changes who you compare him to. Okay, because here's what he does, okay? When you are playing the Photocard, what you want to do is get right up behind the survivor, chuck 4 knives at them, and then down them. Okay? You want to go behind them, you charge your power up, hit them, and get an almost instant down. Who does that sound like, ladies and gentlemen? We're to compare him to somebody. Who does that sound like? You could still say Huntress, but Huntress, they still get the speed boost. I'm thinking Bubba. He sounds like Bubba. And the camp game makes him way more comparable to Bubba. He's a worse Leatherface. He wants to get behind you and then instant down you with this Photocard. Okay, that's what he wants to do. But the difference is between him and Bubba is that Bubba gets through the pallets faster. Bubba's instant down is way more consistent, way more reliable, less counterplay to it. And when you're at a tile as Bubba, you're 115. When you're at Trickster, you're 110. Bubba has so many advantages that he just doesn't have in this department. And then he camps too. Like, his other good attribute is that he camps. We already said that. He's just buff. He's fucking Leatherface, guys. His most optimal style is to play a fucking poor Koreans version of Leatherface. That's what he wants to be doing. And why, okay? Well, what issues on him does the Photocard correct? Okay, read this. When a survivor's laceration meter is 2 or less blades away, they say they are afflicted with exposed. Okay? So they don't get a speed boost. They don't get dead hard. So that's 2 huge counters right there. The health state economy issue is fixed because it doesn't matter if you really heal against him or not. In fact, you kind of really don't want to be healing if he has this, because then he has to hit 2 more knives on you, and you get your dead hard, which can be used to help you extend your loops a little bit. The only weakness that this has is you can force him to be 110 if you're at a tile, whereas Bubba still has feathering, 115, and mind games and stuff. He will have to be 110 if he wants to get add-on value out of this, but if you're at like a God Pallet or something, he can always just choose to throw the 2 extra knives at you and then just injure you. He can choose to do that. It makes his 1v1 game in that category to where the 1 versus 4 game doesn't matter as much. It still matters. He's still not as good as Shitslinger. He's still not as good as Huntress. But, like, this helps him answer the question of why am I doing this? Why is the power a good time saver? Because you can deny the speed boost in the whole second part of the chase if you do it. And again, that's not like... That's why you would use it. Like, you don't want to just get behind them. You don't want to get behind them and then chuck the things and then you get them that speed boost. That speed boost can potentially destroy you with the transitions. So you don't want that speed boost to trigger. And what other things is this correct? He just got a nerf where you don't have as many knives now. Well, when all you need is 4 instead of... Because if you run this, all you need is 4 knives to down somebody. If you do not run this add-on, you need 12. 6 plus 6 is 12, and then you need, yeah, so 4 knives or 12. I know which one I think sounds better, especially after a huge nerf he got. The only downside of this is you don't see main event as much, which is admittedly better, but it's still weaker than just having the photo card and getting the down. Main event can still help you even when you run this. I had a very nice match today where we got a Dwight with it, who was looping us pretty good. But like, it's still overall not as good. It's supplementary. You don't need to work up to it because it's not the main point of what you're doing. So the fact, so it corrects the main event nerf because you don't need main event, so you don't have to worry about getting it. And then it corrects the ammo, and then it also corrects the fact that the meter goes back down in 10 seconds, right? Because it goes down in 10 seconds now. It starts ticking back down. Well, that doesn't matter with the photo card because it's so easy to get it back up for the instant down. You're not constantly fighting with it, you're in control. And since you use the photo card right and you're right behind them when you're doing so, you're never gonna ever really see that. You will sometimes because 10 seconds is not a lot of time. But if it starts ticking, just keep track of it and then throw them at him again to get them back up to it. This add-on is what to do with him. This add-on is what he does. Post buff. I could see this taking a nerf. It's that important to him. That's how you know it's that important to him. I could see it taking a nerf. I'm hoping it doesn't because they left the fucking pinky in. And the pinky on Clown is better than this. If you run any setup that's not photo card, he is still in the D tier. If you run the photo card, you can bring him to top of C, probably. Top of C, maybe, if I'm feeling very generous, I'll have to look at my tier list, maybe low B? No. D, C, B plus, B minus, no. Because I created the D tier again, didn't I? I changed how he did it. So he could maybe be in the C tier with this. He could possibly be better than some of those other characters on the bottom, like a Myers or a Legion, maybe. That's questionable though. A Plague, he could be better than Plague, or a Myers, Trapper, Pig. He could be better than all those characters now. Could he be better than a Ghostface? I don't think so. Better than a Legion? That's still questionable. Better than Clown? I don't think so. I think Clown is underrated right now. So like, if you run the photo card and you play him like a poor man's Bubba, he's a little bit better. But overall, I still think this buff is a colossal failure. Because this is not what this character should be doing. That's how you know the buff was a failure. This isn't what he should be doing. Like, when you play him, it doesn't feel like he should be playing like a fucking Leatherface. But that's what he is. If you want to actually win as him, you have to like make the 1v1 game go so fucking quick. And the only way to realistically do that is with the photo card. Because every nerf he got, the photo card corrects. I promise. Run this. It's the only thing on him that makes sense. Alright, I'm getting the hell out of here, lads.